Hello, everybody. Welcome to the CT Sports Talent Show. My name is Chris Saunders, and please have on with me a softball player from the SEC from the Sheehan Softball program. Trinity LaValle is with me. She's a pitcher, a senior, and she'll be heading to AIC in the fall. But right now, she's playing for her Sheehan squad. Trinity, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
You and I were just kind of talking about some of the talent that is a part of just the softball, players and teams in the state of Connecticut. And, when I think about the Sheehan program and, Coach Miller has done such a fantastic job since she's been a part as a head coach with Sheehan. And I mean, the work that's been done the last couple of years, now you being a part of it too, give me some of your thoughts because I know you're very fond of your coach and the team.
Yeah, I've always been on like a younger side of the team when I first came on to Sheehan. We had no seniors, so we've always had like a younger type of age group,
Mm.
but we've always been like the underdogs and tried to prove ourselves, and I think we've done a great job of that. And Coach Miller has been a great help for us and all of our assistant coaches as well.
Do you think that underdog, you can call it a chip, you can call it whatever you want, but regardless, having that, because I know the football team I've noticed has had that with Coach Farazi. It seems like a lot of the sports have that chip when it comes to the Sheehan sports. That's what I meant. Why is that exactly, if you can tell me?
Um, I don't know. I just think it's awesome to like try to have something to prove, and knowing you're not known but wanting to make yourself known is a great feeling. And
Mm.
I'm a very competitive person, and that's what I love to do. I love to be known, and I try to do that in every sport that I've played growing up since I was little.
Do you think another thing too, because Sheen being a public school and also not a very big school, right? So
Yeah.
because of that, it's not like the Cheshires, the Southingtons, where the classes are two, three, 4,000, et cetera, right? So do you think that kind of is another part too? Because not to say that you're the little sister to the big sister, but in terms of class sizes, you kind of are, but you guys make up for that. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, we always look at these teams and we're like, their JV team is bigger than us, and they still have room for a freshman team, and we're just over here having varsity players. But you
Yeah.
know, it's kind of like I think everyone who goes into Sheehan kind of understands that it's a smaller group. I mean, you're not gonna unless Sheehan ends up colliding with Lyman Hall, you're
Yeah.
really not gonna get many options. But we make it work.
So when you were about to go to Sheehan, right? I mean, what was the softball team like? What was your thinking before you stepped on to the high school?
Um, I was a little nervous, but I wanted, like I said before, I wanted to prove something, and we had a great upperclassman, a great group of girls and captains and leaders on that team who really took me out of my shell very early, and I became very open with that team. And I had gone in to that year with three girls: Riley, Hunter, Ivy Archer, who I've played travel with for forever, and we've all just grown up together playing softball. And we're very comfortable with each other.
Do you think coming out of your shell, like you just said, kind of helped with your maturation process as far as you being a softball player?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Because as I trusted myself, I was able to trust my teammates and trust everything around me.
Hmm.
So it made it a lot easier.
So did you play varsity your freshman year?
Yeah, we didn't even have a JV team because we were a small school. But yeah, but I started varsity, and then my sophomore year we ended up having a JV team,
Mhm.
but then I broke my thumb, and so we ended up not playing the rest of our JV games due to the fact that we had so many varsity players that would have to come down, and it got confusing, but we made it work.
Not having a JV team, I mean, what was that like? Because I mean, it's good to have a JV team because as far as inter squad, as far as just having competition, not to say the competition at the varsity level wasn't good, but it's always fun to see the two squads because you're trying to see the future of the team over the
Mhm.
next couple of years. But not having a JV team, it's like, all right, well, the 15, 16 players in front of you, that's the team. There you go. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, it was a weird feeling because you're just being thrown into varsity, you know? But I mean, I think most of that team just really respected each other and each other's skill level and what each other had to offer to that team, and that helped us know that okay, like she can do this because we trust her, and I think everyone also found their place a lot easier.
Do you think too, not having the JV program also shaped, we talked about the chip, right? Now knowing not having a JV team, that can kind of explain that chip because you guys not only had to be baptized by fire going up against the varsity players 2, 3, 4 years older than you at some points, but I'm sure the growing pains were probably tough in some games.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's when I really learned how softball is a game of failure because I'm a freshman pitching against this big 18-year-old who's committed and playing in college, and I'm just like, oh my god. But you really start to like learn how you are as a player, and I started to learn what was good for me and bad for me and all that kind of stuff.
From your freshman to senior year, what did you learn about yourself in the circle?
Um, I think I learned that I need to trust my defense. I used to put a lot of pressure on myself as a pitcher, trying to thinking that I had to strike everyone out. And I've learned that like if they hit off of me, my defense can make plays. Like my defense will have my back just as much as I'm trying to have theirs. And it was it was awesome to like feel that comfort in myself and in my defense and my players on my team.
Do you think too that kind of helped with your mental side too? Because I feel like that's got to be taxing. I mean, I know you have good stuff. I've seen some of your videos as far as you throwing in the circle. You've got good stuff, hence why you're going to AIC Division Two, right? But the thing that kind of jumps out to me is the mental side of how much taxing that is. Like, hey, I got to feel like I got to strike everybody out. Not to say you didn't trust your defense, but being able to just kind of have that woosah, like, okay, I don't need to strike everyone out. I can kind of relax and just trust my defense, do my thing. That kind of had to help you mentally, right?
No, yeah, definitely. This season, we just recently hit a couple injuries on our team. Like three varsity players have gone down, and so it's been a little tough. And that kind of feeling of I need to do everything myself kind of came back in a little bit.
Uh,
And then I kind of had to remind myself that even if everyone like we have people who are going in that have never played in that position, you know, we have people all over the place, but I started to trust not just like that they are in their position, but that they have played softball and they know the sport and they know what to do in those positions. So you just trust them and go with that.
Now, you said that the injuries have happened most recently, right?
Yeah.
So with that, and I don't know how long these players are going to be out, but you think about like kind of the worst time for that to happen. End of the season, you've got the SEC tournament coming up. Obviously, the state tournament is following that as well, and there's really no like I know for the NBA, I think the second round, the Nuggets are not playing until Friday, right? They got 3 days to relax. When
Hmm.
it comes to high school sports, it's boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
sequence out kind of thing. So what's that kind of going through your guys' head right now?
Yeah, it's definitely hard because I know how I've said it from the beginning of this season. This team is amazing. I mean, in the first half of our season, we only lost to St. Joe's, and I mean, understandable, but we just killed it. Like everyone was doing so amazing, and where they messed up in the field, they made it up at the plate. It was just awesome to see. And throughout these injuries, it's been kind of harder to have to work through that because I think everyone's a little uncomfortable, but we're starting to settle down. And hopefully, everyone will be back in 100% by postseason. But we're working with what we can. But I think we'll make it through. We have very good players.
How much of that do you credit Coach Miller for kind of having that mentality that you just spoke of right there?
A lot. I was unconfident at one point. I was just really in my head about how like I was playing because I felt like I put a lot of pressure on myself. I put a lot of the losses and the runs scored on myself, and she kind of helped me dig me out of that, saying, you know,
Mm.
people are out of position, Trent. It's these errors aren't your fault. It's not you doing them, you know? And we're gonna work through them, and we've been practicing, and everyone's getting a little more comfortable. And I give her a lot of credit for helping me get out of that space, for helping our team work through these uncomfortable situationship.
Now, if I remember right, too, Coach Miller was a catcher at WestCon, if I remember right,
Yeah,
correct? So I'm not surprised that she kind of has that magic touch, right, to be able to kind of speak with you to calm you down. Because
yeah.
if I know one thing from my days when I played baseball, it was the catchers seemed obviously catchers make great managers, great coaches for obvious reasons. But for you to be a pitcher as well, she just kind of had found a way to be able to kind of get through you, right?
No, yeah, definitely.
And that's awesome to hear. So obviously with the Sheehan team, as we head towards the end of the regular season, not the season for you guys because you qualified for the state tournament, have 12 wins, and congratulations on that again. Um, as we look at with some of those young players, as yourself, you being one of the better players, one of the best players in the state as well, how much do you put on yourself to, because it's hard enough to perform at your level, but then you're also trying to help the younger players. Like, let's say the players that got hurt don't come back for a little bit. Now
Mhm.
you have to rely on the younger players. Are you doing a lot of teaching as well with that?
Yeah, definitely. In practices, I'm just trying to give them all of my knowledge. We have some players with speed who are probably gonna have to go in for, like, we're starting to have some of the injured players hit. So we have some players with speed who are probably gonna have to run for them. And I'm trying to teach them like base running, like to be more aware, like what you can do in this situation. It's fun. I enjoy like sharing my knowledge of softball with others, so I enjoy teaching the freshmen how to work and the underclassmen and what balls they should be going for and how to do it.
How possible is it down the road once you're done playing softball that you may get into coaching now that you're doing this? Is that a possible thing down the road?
No, yeah, I totally see that happening. I mean, I love coaching softball. I've helped out my dad when he coached my sister, so I've always loved it. I love sharing softball knowledge with others.
Now, your sister's on the team, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm talking about when she was younger.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, who's better amongst the two? I'm assuming you'll say yourself, right?
Yeah, well, I think we both have our strengths.
No, you definitely do. You're both good in your own way and have
Yeah,
really
definitely.
contributed to she and being able to get to this point. Now, as we look at from a broader standpoint, right? You guys played a very tough game against Woodland last year. Obviously, Woodland back-to-back champions for a reason. Tough team, Sasnovich and that whole nine. I mean, they were just tough. As you look at it going in now, I know obviously you have to play the SEC tournament first, but states I'm sure is in the back of your guys' mind one way or another. Um, Not to say the revenge tour, but is it kind of like that because you guys ended the season much earlier than you guys, I think, anticipated?
Oh, 100%. I fully anticipate making it all the way to the States and winning it. I don't expect anything less from this team. I think we are totally capable of it. And I think the way we lost last year to Woodland also brings kind of back that, like, we need this, like we want this. And the fact that it's my last year, it's two other players last year, I
Yep.
think we all just want this so bad, and we know a lot of the underclassmen want it for us too.
Does it eat at you and the other seniors because you guys didn't get almost away? It's almost like you much rather would have been blown out, right? But you weren't by any means. So do you feel like, not to say you do it every day, but if you're just sitting watching, I know they've been showing a lot of the softball games because the season's coming to a wire at the college level, or if you're sitting during your study period or during practice, if you're running, doing sprints or whatever, is it running through your mind like basically that game and you're like, I don't want that to happen again. I don't want that to happen again, right?
Yeah, I mean every time I see like Woodland tweet or something pop up on my phone, I literally just think about that, and it just I honestly that drives me though. Like I play that way where when I'm like mad, I'm going to give it all I got. Like that's just kind of what drives me, but I think every single one of us know that we were chipped out of that,
Yeah.
and that we could have totally won and would have totally given them such a good game.
Yeah.
And so we all know that we have this and we can do this.
So you pitch better when you're mad. Is that what I'm getting at?
Yeah, we've come to the conclusion that that's what we do. I mean, like I went to the dugout one time and Coach Miller was like, "Oh, she's mad. She's about to strike everyone out." Like it's I don't know. It's like a joke now, but I guess so.
So it's kind of like the Jordan mentality, where Michael Jordan, to people who don't know, where he could just read something that said, "Oh, someone said that Jordan had an off night." He gets so mad he put up 60. Like, is that the kind of mentality you're talking
Yeah,
about?
I like to prove people wrong. I'm a very competitive person, and when I just get mad, I just start firing like crazy, and that's kind of when I pitch my best.
That's admirable. I don't know too many players that can harness that mad energy and actually perform and not get worse. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So before I let you go, Trinity, and I appreciate you coming on. As far as what people can expect the rest of the way, only so many games in the regular season, then the conference and the state tournament and such. What you and the other ladies have done, especially the seniors, have really kind of, I think, left a blueprint, right? As far as for future softball players who decide to play for Sheehan, like, hey, it doesn't matter how small the team is, right? It's about the bite, it's about the fire, and so on. I'm sure Coach Miller has said that in much better words, coaching wise. But if you could kind of leave anything for future Sheehan softball players, what is that?
Honestly, I'd say give it all you got. Like, even if you're the underdog, even if the things aren't going your way, people are getting injured, you just kind of got to give it all you got because nobody's looking at you harder than you're looking at yourself.
Hmm.
So nobody's going to be your worst enemy other than yourself, and you just got to work past that and try to separate the mental part of it and be you out there.
Trinity, I appreciate you coming on. Best of luck as far as the rest of the way. And hopefully I see you guys, if I have the opportunity to call the softball championships, that who knows, maybe I could see Sheehan. Because if I recall, she never made a championship for softball. Do you recollection?
Um, I think the last time we won a championship for states was like 40 years ago or something. It was a long time ago. That could be wrong. That could be
4D
wrong.
or 4D?
4D, I think.
Wow. Okay. So basically what you're saying is Sheen's due. Sheen's due.
Yeah. Oh, we're definitely due.
Okay. So who knows? Let's see what happens. Appreciate you coming
Yeah.
on. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Always. Now wrap things up around the CT Sports Talent Show. So next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm a journey find them all. Enjoy the show, everybody, and be well.